Thank you. Thank you very much, Sister Dennis Charles. Boy, Sakis worked me out. But before I begin, I want you to join with me as we take a moment of silence for the fallen brother and comrade, our former parliamentary representative. Those who are sitting, please stand and join me as we have a moment of silence for Ed Regis. Thank you. That sounded like a gun salute, and I think Ed deserves a gun salute. This evening, first of all, let me begin by thanking my colleagues who are here and who have been so kind to endorse me. I also want to thank our Prime Minister who's on his way here. He had an earlier assignment in the Salibia constituency, and he will join us shortly. But most of all, I want to thank all of you who've turned up to join us here this evening. The massive crowd and the rally is something that truly demonstrates the strength of Labour in the Grand Bay constituency. We chose this venue because it is a great symbol of the strength of Grand Bay in Labour. About a year ago, our political leader invited me to return home so that I could serve once more in the cabinet of Dominica. But he also felt at the time that I would be a suitable candidate for the Grand Bay constituency. And when the party proposed me as a candidate to stand in Grand Bay, I know it was greeted with some reluctance, some apprehension and trepidation. But from the time I was introduced, I hit the ground running. And for me, proverbially, I started on the lally. I walked throughout the streets of Grand Bay, Tetmon, Mountain, to meet you where you were, where you live, where you work, where you recreate. Some of you I met on your farms. I was able to worship with you, to mourn with you, and I was able to learn about you. But the most touching thing is the way you welcome me into your community, into your constituency, into your homes. And for that, I will be forever grateful to all of you here in the Grand Bay constituency. You made me feel at home, as if I was a long-lost brother or a son that you had not seen for a long time. And this is why I have always felt so comfortable being among you. And if people didn't know, they would think we're friends a long time with this. I've seen so many of you. Huh? I mean, some of you are my old friends, people like Hildreth and Reynolds and Catherine, these are people I knew a long time. But some of you became like a family to me. And I want to thank you also for not only welcoming me to your communities and to your homes, but welcoming my wife, who's also become a part of you and part of the Grand Bay constituency. And she liked Grand Bay so much, she told me maybe we should move to Grand Bay. But I also want to thank you because, you know, often people show up for campaigns. We hit the streets, we hit the road, we canvass together, we work together, we get elected together, then we celebrate and we depart. But there was one powerful lesson for me, is that you have never let go of my hands. You have continued to hold me, to strengthen me, even at times. And I'll give you a little secret, I have a confession to make. When I just came to Grand Bay, as a Mote Perry, not because I was afraid of Grand Bay, because I'm from St. Joe, but I wasn't used to the politics for a while. I was out of practice. I spent the last 10 years in academia, going too much school, and it shows sometimes. I talk too much and use too many big words. I try not to. But I spend time in the halls of diplomacy, talking to foreign governments, negotiating, debating. I spent my time leading the region and sometimes internationally in renewable energy, sometimes as a consultant and sometimes as a lawyer. So I was out of practice. I didn't know how to get used to this thing. And I'll also tell you that a lot has changed from since I was a PAL rep. A lot has changed. So it took me some time to get used to this. So I'm begging you tonight, all the mistakes I make, please forgive me. I was just warming up. I was warming up and getting used to the new vibes. But you made it easy for me. You made it easy because you were always there. And for that, I will work hard to reward you, to give you the best representation that you can in this new term. But another lesson that I hope our listeners, our viewers, and those of you here will mind if I indulge a little. Because, you know, in the politics, it can be a little rough sometimes and lonely. But I always appreciate the fact that there are some of you, and I see so many of you here tonight, who sometimes would call me and tell me, Pal Rep, you okay now? Pal Rep, you eat already? Because people know I don't like food. I don't like to eat. That's why I make so. Pal Rep, you eat already? And they always have to make coffee for me because I like my coffee. That is the kind of thing that I have gotten to strengthen me in the Grand Bay constituency. But very instructive is the fact that the people around me are people who look out for other people. People would call me and say, Pal Rep, remember my so-and-so in Mabouche? We had to get the windows for her. You remember this person? Well, look, their mother died. We have to be there for them. Or this child down in Wavin-Banan who doesn't have a device. Or textbooks for our children, and remember how we package them and we get exercise books for them. That is what has strengthened me. And it is my pleasure to welcome to Grand Bay our political leader and Prime Minister.
If I had a chance to live my life again, without pretending I would tell you plain, I've made a lot of mistakes in this life I would like to change. But of all the things that I hold dear, wanna be born and raised in this country, for no other place on earth wouldn't do for me.
Yes, thank you. So I really, truly appreciate the fact that we have in Grand Bay a strong Labour Party that continue to look out for people, look out for one another, not just about us. So we spent the last year together, very difficult times. We were still trying to struggle and to see how we could respond to the COVID-19 pandemic that had affected all the world. So it was not an easy time for us. But we still were able to accomplish a number of things. But tonight, I am not here to speak about accomplishments. I am focused on the work we have ahead to do here in the Grand Bay constituency. But our Prime Minister came in at the right time because I have a little message for him from the people of Grand Bay PM. PM, they told me to tell you that we understand in the national reset some things will change because the world is changing. Things are getting more difficult. But they have asked me to ask you, as I have several times in the international community, to ask for special and differential treatment for the Grand Bay constituency. We are asking for more while we express our gratitude to you for always looking out for us. But we believe that since 1985, we have been standing strong with the Dominica Labour Party. Pierre Charles of blessed memory wrestled this constituency from, at the time, the most powerful political party in Dominica, the Dominica Freedom Party. And since 1995, when Labour only had 5 seats in the parliament, we have stood with the Dominica Labour Party for 37 long years. And this is why we are grateful for everything that Labour has done for us. But we want a little more. We want a little more because we are in search of empowerment of our people. We are focused on ensuring that our young people have more opportunities. And we will speak a little about that. But PM, tonight, we want to thank you for looking out. But we know that there's a lot of work to be done. And while we are demanding more, we have to give more. Not only our political support, but I need your vote on December 6th. Don't forget that. You have to go and vote, and in large numbers. But we have to be able to do a little more for ourselves. And I want to, tonight, I want to invite you to join me on that mission. Because I owe a lot to Grand Bay. And most people may not know that. But when I served with Pierre Charles, I was a little boy. I started at 28, and I served in the cabinet of Pierrot. At the time, things were difficult. But he taught me a number of things. He taught me humility. He taught me sacrifice, dedication, and commitment to people. But he also inspired me to ensure that I could pursue my own personal educational development. Pierrot was my hero. And I think about him because he sacrificed his life for this country. Because were it not for the sacrifices and the leadership of Pierre Charles in 2000 to 2004, Dominica would have gone down after the devastation of the UWP. But it's only when I came to Grand Bay I understood why Pierrot was so strong and so brave and so bold and willing to take political risk. Because he knew he had the strength of the Grand Bay constituency at his back. And I beg you to give me that same strength, to give me that same courage, so that I can serve you and serve you well. But Grand Bay, as we move to our new term, as we participate in the national reset, we need to look at our focus. We need to look at our focus on education. We have to do more for our children. I start with education because education is key to empowering our people. We have to ensure that our students get the best opportunities that we can afford. And I want to thank the government for the investment of $3.2 million in the Grimey Primary School. But the work is not done. We are looking forward to entering our school in the new year and to ensure that it is a school that is ready to give our children the best opportunity to learn, and that our teachers can work in a comfortable environment. As the government, and you heard the Prime Minister in our Independence Day address, committed to transforming our primary schools as we have our secondary schools in terms of staffing. There will be more positions available to our primary school teachers so that they can get better salaries and better security in their jobs. We hope that all of these things will contribute to better learning outcomes for our children. I am prepared to work with you to ensure that our children get the best education possible. And Teacher Junior, I went in your class and I taught for a day. I am prepared to go back to your classrooms and teach whenever I am available, because I want our children to get the best education possible. But as we educate our people, we must create better opportunities for them. And tonight, I want to speak to some of the things that our government is doing to ensure that there are better opportunities for people. And I want you to take advantage of them. But before I do that, in Grand Bay, we have an excellent health center. We need to ensure that it is upgraded to get to the stage that it can stand as a hospital on its own. with essential services, not necessarily with all the specialties, but to ensure that we can use technology so that our doctors, when they sit right here in Granby, can have access to the best specialists in the country and the world. And I commit myself to working with our Minister of Health to ensure that we can upgrade that facility. The investment made have made that facility resilient, and we are grateful that it is now one of the smart health centers in Dominica. But over the last year, a number of you here, I have met you. A number of you have come to my office. You have contacted me for health care, for assistance. This new term, it is our hope that we can provide better support to you. We have to get a way to ensure that those of you on medication don't have to come looking for me to get your medicine. We want to put a system in place to ensure that you can get your prescription whenever it needs to be refilled without walking up and down. That is something that I have picked up. And I see my good friend here. I know her father is ill. I know he has a supply of oxygen to get every week, and that is very costly. We have to create a system that responds to those needs so that our people know whenever they fall sick, they don't have to worry. If you have cancer, you will get chemotherapy. You will get the support that the government is already providing. But I don't want you to worry when you have to go to the hospital. We have to ensure that we provide transportation for you, provide a meal for you, to ensure that when you get to the hospital, you can get your treatment without any hassle. So in this new term, we need to work to improve our health and social services so that our people can get the support they need. And some of you, I know that you're receiving government assistance. But I believe it is time that we review that assistance to ensure that you and your children are well taken care of. Because once we can make those investments in health, in education, we will be able to empower you so that you can continue to make life better for yourselves and your family. And that is what I am looking forward to in this new term, in the reset that we are seeking to achieve. But as we create opportunities for you, I want you to take advantage of it. I remember when I came here during the by-elections, and we went to Makaton and Mopo. I remember the cries of the farmers about the condition of the roads. And thankfully, late Ed Regis had started improving that road. But we were not able to complete it. And when I got in, I was happy that our Prime Minister was able to respond to the needs of all farmers to invest over $1 million in the Makaton Road. And in this new term, we'll ensure that we do the other side so that farmers can have better access to their roads. But we are not going to stop there. We are going to ensure that our farmers have proper irrigation systems. We are going to ensure that we modernize farming, greenhouse technology to ensure that we can increase your yield. At the end of the day, our target is to ensure that you can make a living and have money in your pockets. So I want our farmers to take advantage of the investments that we have made. I have been working with the farmers group. I have been working with your cooperative. I have assisted you in securing a market. And I have given you the opportunity to make some money. But I hope in the new term, as we increase our investment in agriculture, you will be producing more. Because there are opportunities that we need to take advantage of. Government is about empowering people, allowing people to make money, allowing people to be self-reliant, allowing people to be self-dependent, so that at the end of the day, our communities can be stronger and better. I know that it's been a while that we have had a good cricket game. Well, except for the one where a fella out me for duck. But soon we will be seeing the full rehabilitation of Geneva playing field. And I want to take the opportunity to thank the chairman of the village council, Amo Thomas, and his team, Teacher Willie Favrier, and those and the committee that has come forward to themselves assist in the rehabilitation of that field. We have so far invested $500,000 in that facility. And our intention is to ensure that we modernize that facility to become a mini stadium, but it will not happen all at one time. I am not promising you that next year we will have all the benches, all the stands, and all the facilities. But what I am committed to do is ensuring that we can gradually develop that facility to become a premier sporting facility in Dominica. And the reason for that is not only for us to play cricket or football. The reason for that is to ensure that we can bring more activity in Grand Bay, so that our vendors, our small businesses can make some money, so that we can boast about tourism, whether it's local or foreign. And that is my commitment to you. We continue to work on our plan to make Grand Bay a cultural tourism capital of Dominica. We have already enjoyed the title as cultural capital of Dominica. But what we need to do is to let that title make money for us. We cannot have Teacher Addy and Abio and Carlton dancing ballet and doing all of these wonderful things, and Teacher Bella and the youngsters, and we're not making money from it. We don't only want to see them during Independence time. We don't only want to see them for Fete Isidore. So, well, Minister of Tourism, I can't put pressure on you. I don't know what the new cabinet is going to look like. But we are determined to ensure that we bring together all the skills in Grand Bay. The things that make us the cultural capital of Grand Bay, we need now to monetize that. And I am hoping that I can work with the Minister of Culture, with the Minister of Tourism, so that they can introduce a new aspect of our tourism. That is, to pay some of our cultural groups to perform where they are needed, so that people can earn a living by simply maintaining and performing our culture. These are some of the new ideas that I hope that we can embark on together. And I have met with many of you. I have met with the cultural elders. I know that you are with me in this journey, and I'm looking forward to working with you in the new term. Our neighbor across in Pidit Savan, the Member of Parliament for the Pidit Savan constituency, he has already been declared the Member of Parliament. So, Honorable Defoe, I am happy that you are on board. And I look forward to working with you the same way I worked with Dr. Daru, and how Dr. Daru worked with the late Ed Regis. But this term, we must ensure that the fishermen, not only of Stowe and of Forsager, but the fishermen of Grand Bay can see the construction of the new fisheries facility in Stowe to ensure that we can improve fishing in the south. Dr. Daru and I, with your assistance as fisheries officer, had already done some of the initial work. And we have already gotten some commitment from the government of Japan to construct that facility. And I hope that as soon as we are given our responsibility by our Prime Minister, we can hit the road running and we can start working on the development of our fisheries facility in Stowe. That facility has the potential not only for fisheries, but as a port, to ensure that we can take advantage of our proximity to Martinique, so that we can see commerce, formal commerce, taking place between the South and Martinique. So I'm looking forward to that, and that is something we must work on in the new term. My people from Grand Colibri, Desmond, Mountain, Grand Bay. I know those of you in Grand Colibri, you still want to know when your water is going to reach the upper level of Grand Colibri. But I want to assure you tonight I want to assure you tonight that we have already budgeted $1.3 million for the construction of a new water facility for Grand Colibri. That facility was approved in the last budget, and it will not only provide for Grand Colibri, but for some of you in Bordeaux and Powell, and as well as Hagley. We are hoping that that facility, once constructed, will once and for all remove any water problem in the Grand Colibri area. So I want to tell you that tonight, so be assured we are working on that. But those of you not from Grand Bay, you came here tonight. And I know some of you still a little afraid of the road. But the road easy, man. I was afraid too, before. But I came here so many times. But I want to give you the assurance that by next year, we will see the commencement of work on the Loubier to Grand Bay Road. Honorable Defoe, I'm not taking responsibility for your section. Ou sa parle pour quoi? Moi ka parle pour Jean Goabe. I am taking the piece from Loubier to Grand Bay. And I have already said to our Prime Minister and to the engineers that we want a real bridge at Mitcham. We don't want no culvert. We don't want no crossing. We want a full-size bridge in Mitcham. Because I know the inconvenience that it's caused to all of us when it rains heavily. I know the problems we have when we travel that road whenever it rains. And the concerns that you have. And as a matter of fact, I really do hope that once work begins, the engineers and the construction company will give priority to that section. So that we can totally, once and for all, eliminate the risk of having any blockage to get to Grand Bay, to Tetmon, to Mountain, to Grand Colibri. So we're looking forward to that. I know it's something that the late Ed Regis always was pursuing. I know we got the challenge of Maria, and subsequently we had difficulties with the contract. But I thank the Prime Minister for his leadership in that, and now I am assured that we will see something happening in the new term. So that is something that we are grateful for. But tonight, brothers and sisters, I spoke of these things because I believe I had to share with you in the constituency. But I also want you to work with us because we have been able to provide for you in the Grand Bay constituency. And I want to speak. I also want to thank our Prime Minister for the new development in Center. Because sometimes I hear some of you, I always think that we can do more. But I want you to think a little. You remember the road I spoke about from Loubier to Grand Bay? You know how much for that road? $120 million. Ça partit l'argent. $120 million. And this is the kind of investment that we have to do to make that road safe, to build resilience, to make sure that when it rains, or if there, God forbid, is a disaster, a hurricane, that our road is still passable or could be made passable very quickly. We don't want to be cut off as we were after the passage of Hurricane Maria. Similarly, I am saying this to you because I want you to appreciate the kinds of investment that we are making here. In Center, the housing development in Center, with 84 units, actually 103 structures, where we will have a magistrate's court, we'll have our fire service, we'll have even a church constructed there. We'll have a community center and other facilities for commercial activities. That investment is not coming cheap. That is an investment of over 100 million EC dollars. So I want you to think about that when some of you are a little impatient. I know we have to respond to your housing needs still. I know we have to do more for the people in Gaza. We spoke about relocation. We have already acquired the land for you in Picodo. But I want you to understand that your government is working for you. I want you to know that the school in Tetmon has already been approved. We acquired the land. We have done the designs. The Chinese firm has already been secured to construct that school. So I just want to tell you these things because I know sometimes we can be a little impatient. But I know Skerrit loves Grand Bay because Grand Bay fortifies him. Because in this campaign, PM, Pamati, if it wasn't for Grand Bay, do have people, eh? I know Vekas is always there because my partner, you're not there tonight. Vekas is always there. They have your back. But Grand Bay brings the energy to the Dominica Labour Party. I mean, I know I cannot dance like Blackmore. But when you see Sakis, the little thing they have, Mao there, there's nothing, eh? It's Sakis as the life. It's Sakis that brings the life. So I know PM loves Grand Bay, man. Because the kinds of investment that we've made in difficult times, and I want you to think about this. These are not easy times. In difficult times, the kinds of investments that we're making. Since I have been your member of parliament, I know that we have already invested over $500,000 in housing, providing direct assistance to families. So we have to be appreciative of that. We have to recognize that, but as I said, we have a lot of work to do. But I am prepared to work with you. I am prepared to do my own reset. I want to reset so that I can serve you better. I want to see greater efficiency in responding to your needs. I want to ensure that my office is a place where you can feel comfortable and you can feel satisfied that we are servicing you. We will improve. We will get better because I'm telling you, finally, that no, make play way. But I want to tell you, when I move around, something I want to share with you. I went to almost every rally the last almost 4 weeks. And you know one of the things that has touched me the most is when I see the faces in the crowd. Because Grand Bay people not shy. You pas say way. Even ni pe moun mo kwe yo te fâché avec moi me mo voye yo. It really touched me. It really, really touched me. Some of you whom I felt perhaps I maybe didn't listen to you a little more. But yet you were there every night. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for that. And I want to tell you tonight, this is what is giving me the courage to serve you better. And I give you the commitment tonight. But December 6th, you know we have a tradition in Grand Bay of voting early. So on December 6th, by the time we've been launched to, where is it again, Shanks? A to A, La Chata. I want to know the victory for the Dominica Labour Party is still. And this time, we're getting more than 1,200 votes. Because I know you are ready to give your support to Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dominica Labour Party. Because Labour is still the best choice for Dominica. And I am here, and will be here with you. I thank you. Thank you very much. I love you. May God bless you.
Tell that to your neighbor.